would you be able to offer the children of North Bonneville?
As I already said, that's, that would be, if you will, a pet project. It was, by the way, I don't reinvent wheels. I like to garner from the folks that are here. Cal originally set aside some money for the skate park. I know Ray got the frisbee golf set up going, and he's been behind a lot of these things. But besides the skate park, to me, if this city could come up with the monies, living in the proximity that we do to this huge river and to that lovely Greenleaf Lake over there, which by the way has public access, we should be making sure that every one of our kids that can crawl into that lake can swim in that lake. And we have an opportunity, if we would work with Bonneville Hot Springs, maybe to pull off like a 6 o'clock in the morning swimming lessons and make sure these kids, they get another year. And to me, that would be a real fine idea.
We have agreement on the skate park. I think that's an idea that's been, you know, moved around on the burners from front to back around here for at least the 4.5 years that I've lived in town. And coming from a Southern California background back in the 80s and 90s, I know skate parks, you know, have a real popular pull. They can bring in a lot of people. The disc golf course brings in a lot of people. Just our paths and hiking areas, both the blacktop and the off-road areas back there on Strawberry Island, bring in a lot of people. One thing I have heard fairly frequently is that our smaller kids' playground could be buffed up a little bit. There's a lack of swings for the larger kids, and you know, maybe just a few. I don't know if anyone's been to Cirrhosis Park in the Dalles, but you know, I was actually working at the hospital in the Dalles when that was built, and the vast majority of that was built by donation of materials from local businesses and by volunteer time from not only hospital employees, but employees and residents from all over the town. And that park area is, you know, a spectacular place for kids to go play. I take our grandkids up there whenever I visit them in the Dalles, and they love going up there. I think, you know, that would be a big plus for us, and having it all together. You know, if a skate park could be built over there, and there was a playground, and there was a disc golf, you know, a family could come out from somewhere with kids of all different ages, and they could all do things, and the parents could see them all at the same time, which is a big thing for parents.
Skate park, I mean, but as far as improving the swing size, we have a number of teenage kids. I'm seeing them around, and really, yes, we do need a swing set that's larger than what we have over there. And the skate park would help a lot, and I think if we could get them into the pool, that would be a grand idea.
Have you ever asked for a tour of the city's infrastructure? If so, what can you tell us about it?
I have never actually asked for a tour of the infrastructure. I frequently go out on the trails along Parcel C and Strawberry Island, and I am fairly well acquainted with the outside area of the sewer system. I've spoken with Ray and his guys when they've been crawling in and out of the different conning towers, we call them. They look kind of like the conning towers in old submarines, where they go down a ladder and work on things there. But no, I've never actually asked for a tour of the infrastructure, which would include pretty much all the water, cable TV, and sewer system. And at this point, at my current position, that's really not in my realm of responsibility.
I've toured every facility we have. The water towers, I've stuck my head down the manhole covers that you referred to as conning towers. They don't smell very well. I'm glad I don't have to go down them myself. They have to be, those manhole covers have to be checked, or I should say the apparatus, the pump stations have to be checked weekly to keep them operational. And the TV system has a number of stacks of decks, and we have a built-in cable system that runs throughout this town. That is really quite affordable. I can tell you that, no, I'm not a subscriber. And today I found out the disadvantage to that. If we had an emergency here, those of you who do subscribe would have a message come on to turn your TV on to this channel, and then you would have a voice come over and tell you what the emergency was. Unfortunately, with Dish Network, they're out of Texas or someplace, so I wouldn't have that. But I have ridden around with Cal, I've sat with Marion and the mayor, and I think I've pretty well seen it all.
Sure. I have actually been inside the cable TV system. When I first moved here to town, I worked part-time for the SawNet guys, and they provide wireless internet here, and I actually helped them install and maintain several of the systems here in town, so I have seen that system. I have gone out with Ray a couple times. There's a water station just on the other side of the bridge going towards the golf course, and I've seen inside of that, and he's explained to me how that stuff works, so I don't think I'm a total neophyte, or I don't think anything ever comes as a major shock to me.
Would you please explain your thoughts about our city water department being in the red such a large amount?
I think that anyone who's bought anything in the last 6 years probably found that in the last 6 years it costs more. If you bought a gallon of gas 6 years ago, what did it cost you? A year and a half ago, gasoline was up to $4. Believe it or not, our water department uses gasoline to get to the different pump stations, to service the manhole covers, to work on the broken pipes, and to turn water on and off where it needs to be turned on and off. That's a cost. Once again, the system it's aged, and I don't know what quality of pipe the Army Corps of Engineers bought, but by virtue of it being a federal agency, they have to do exactly what we have to do. The bid has to go to the lowest possible bidder, as long as the quality is within minimum parameters. Well, when you do that, you get minimum parameter pipe. Eventually it wears out. So why are the costs gone up? 6 years have gone by without a raise. And costs have gone up on everything.
Well, as I said, we had a workshop last Monday, and we had asked for, some certain figures to be split out with more detail, particularly, salary versus chemicals that are used and testing, and what we got was a one-page document that had all the contract services and salaries lumped together, and as I said, that figure had gone from $20,000 in 2007 to $92,000 in 2008 to $89,000 through August of this year. Having it lumped together doesn't do us any good. We can't figure out where the major portions of those increases are coming. If we're paying, our contracted services are going up at something like 450% or something, then, maybe we need to look at rebidding or finding competing companies that might be able to offer us some services at a lower rate. If we're able to see salary breakdowns, we might be able to find places where we could save money in some areas and have it applied to that water fund. One of the things I asked, we have 4 public utility workers who each get $500 a month to be on call. I asked how that $500 each, which is $2,000 a month between the 4 of them, was split up, and currently it's split 50-50 between the sewer system and the water system. I asked if that was an accurate reflection of how the callbacks go. In other words, do they get called out about an equal number of times after hours for sewer versus water? And I was told that no one really knows because the regular overtime hours and the callback overtime hours are not kept separate in our pay system. I asked if that could be done from now on in the future so that at some point we would have some aggregate information we could look back on to work on future budgets with, and hopefully that will occur, but that's where we are now.
I saw the figures that Don saw about the $20,000 for maintenance and workers and the jump. And admittedly, it's gone up a considerable amount. These people, the 4 utility workers we have though, are cross-trained and have licenses for wastewater as well as fresh water. And it's really hard to get people like that on board. Most of them are